Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explanation of tariffs. I just saw this word floating around because Trump and other people keep saying it, tariff, tariff, tariff. So I thought, I'm not the dumbest or smartest guy. I'd like to understand what a tariff is and make a little terrible drawing to help myself understand, and then to help others understand. Kumbaya, my lord. So what is a tariff? Tariff is essentially a tax. It's an import or an export tax. So let's dive in a bit deeper to see if we can understand the iceberg of meaning that is a tariff instead of just the surface. So what do tariffs do? Well, tariffs, they hurt consumers, first of all. They protect industries, second of all. And third of all, they get countries to change behavior. And you think to yourself, well, how do they do that, Tim? And Tim says, well, let's follow the arrow to our example. The Chicken War of 1956 will help us understand tariffs. In 1956, the Germans loved United States chicken. They were just goo goo, gaga, cuckoo for chicken puffs. This made the German farmers very upset because the German farmers were like, hey, Mother Germany sells chicken too. Why don't you buy from us? But the German people were like, because we love the United States chicken. Because the German farmers were so upset, they went to the government and they said, hey, this needs to stop. And the government was like, you know what? You're right. Let's put a tariff on it. Boom, 20%. So what that means, going back to our definition, is the United States chicken had an additional tax put on it. So because this tax was placed on the chicken now costed more to the average German person. It went up from like $1.80 to $2.20. The Germans instantly stopped buying United States chicken because it was too damn expensive. And guess what? United States chicken sales went down. Down, down, down. In the USA, no likey. So the United States said, okay, well, Germany, two can play that game. We'll show you who's chicken. And they put a 25% tariff on Volkswagen trucks. And what happens after we put a tariff on Volkswagen trucks? Well, we know that a tariff is a tax, and that means that, yes, you got it, German truck sales went down. So what was the result of all this? Well, the result is that Germans ended up paying more for chicken and that the USA had fewer truck options. Woo! Tariffs. Everybody loses. Cool. So another thing to understand about tariffs is that there's collateral damage from imposing a tariff. So we can look at 2018 when Trump was like, we're going America, yo, and we're starting in the laundry room. And he put a tariff on washing machines. This tariff impacted Samsung and LG and some other international companies that were big brands in the United States. And the companies had to pay this additional tax imposed upon them. And instead of paying it themselves, they just inflated the price. So they handed that cost off to the consumer, which is you, me, and Becky Lee. And this raised the price, hypothetically, from $199 to $249 for a washer. In doing this, the collateral effect was that domestic competitors, maybe Maytag or some American brand of washing machines, they said, hey, we can get more profit now if we just match the price of Samsung. So they started using this tariff to their advantage to bolster the profits of their company since they didn't have to pay the tariffs. That was just market demand, what the market could now ask for a washing machine. Another collateral effect was that because washing machines went up in price across the board because of these tariffs, well, guess what? Dryers are also associated with washing machines, and let's bump those prices too. So dryers also increased in price because the demand had shifted, and the summary of the collateral damage is that all laundry units become more expensive. Dag nabbit, said the older man. So hopefully you're starting to understand the outcomes of these tariffs are that they hurt consumers, that they protect specific industries like our chicken shilling Germans and our washing machine patriots, and also that it's made to try and get countries to change their behavior. We put a tariff because we wanted to change the behavior of the Germans, and the Germans put a tariff on the chicken to change our behavior, and so on and so forth. What are the outcomes of tariffs? What happens when we put a tariff on something? Well, they are hard to get rid of for a couple of reasons. Number one is that domestic companies rely on tariffs for the competitive advantage. So once you put a tariff in place, a domestic company is able to kind of corner that market a bit and be more competitive because the international companies now have to pay a fine in order to be competitive. The status quo can emerge where these domestic companies are now reliant upon that advantage, and they will really not want the tariff to be removed. Number two, when a tariff is placed on a country or a company, it means that we have a bargaining chip, right? If we wanted to get something, come say, come sa, quid pro quo. And I think I use come. That's not what come say, come sa means, but quid pro quo or whatever. It means that, hey, we'll remove your tariff, China or Germany, if you just give us more whatever the heck we need from you. Tariffs can become bargaining chips for the future. Now, the last thing I want to cover, since it's relevant to us Americanos, is Trump's tariffs. So the proposed tariff that Trump has proposed. So China is going to get a 60% tariff tax on all of their goods that are being exported to the United States. And all other countries that export to us, well, we're going to put a 10 to 20% tariff tax on their products. The possible outcomes of this is that we're going to lose 684,000 jobs. There's a lot of ways to understand this, but basically, when you put a tariff or a tax, it creates a certain amount of money. The excess money is awesome, but the tariffs also increase the prices of goods, and generally speaking, the increase of the prices of goods ends up being more costly than the money that we earn from the extra tax. They also estimated that we'd lose about $1,700 per household per year, I assume, which doesn't seem like that much to me. But retaliatory tariffs. If we say, hey, China, everything you sell in the United States is going to be 60% more expensive, then China could be like, you know what, bro? Seriously, bro? Well, then guess what? You don't get to have our shirts anymore, buddy. You don't get cheap exports from us anymore. Anyways, retaliatory tariffs are basically what we did to Germany when they put a tariff on our chicken. And the last thing is that domestic prices go up. We should kind of understand that by now, but they go up because tariffs, by and large, change the market. The washing machine was $200, and after the tariff, it was $250, and then the other companies all jumped on the bandwagon to collect their difference. So hopefully you have a little bit better understanding of what the heck a tariff is, and I will let you go. Please comment in the comment section your favorite color. Goodbye.